Late at night, when the sanctuary sits empty, some paranormal investigators claim churches are anything but quiet. Strange sounds, unexplained shadows, and electronic instruments reacting unusually in places built for worship. But why are these investigations happening in American churches? Are these genuinely signs of the supernatural, or do they reveal something profound about human responses to sacred space, history, and the weight of belief? Let us embark on a respectful, academic exploration of this fascinating intersection of faith, fear, and the unexplained. Welcome to the Scholar's Ledger, where we critically examine history, faith, and power. When considering paranormal investigations, our minds often conjure images of abandoned houses or old prisons. Churches, however, present a unique and often overlooked context for such inquiries. These are active centers of faith, community, and spiritual solace, symbols of peace and divine order. When investigators introduce their equipment into these sacred spaces, it prompts crucial questions. Are they truly detecting supernatural phenomena, or are they exploring the powerful narratives, legends, and psychological impacts embedded within these historic structures? Today, we approach this phenomenon with open minds and rigorous critical thinking, seeking to understand its motivations, claims, and deeper implications for all perspectives. From the devout to the discerning skeptic, churches often become focal points for paranormal interest due to specific characteristics. Many are centuries old, having witnessed countless life events, from joyous celebrations to profound grief. These buildings have absorbed generations of intense human emotion, making them compelling subjects for those who believe strong feelings can leave an energetic imprint. Architectural elements like high ceilings and stone walls naturally amplify sounds and create atmospheric conditions that can be interpreted as unusual. In American folklore, places steeped in intense emotion are often linked to paranormal activity. This cultural narrative suggests that deep feelings, grief, devotion, fear, somehow resonate within a location. From an academic standpoint, this raises a vital question. Does history genuinely create hauntings, or does it simply provide compelling narratives that lead us to interpret ordinary experiences through a paranormal lens? Perhaps our awareness of mortality and the passage of time, as reflected in ancient texts like Psalm 90, is what truly resonates within these venerable walls. Understanding the methodologies employed in church investigations is crucial for evaluating their claims. Investigators typically use audio recorders for electronic voice phenomena, EVP, motion sensors, temperature gauges for cold spots, and night vision cameras for visual anomalies. The premise is that this equipment can detect phenomena beyond human sensory perception. However, a critical academic perspective highlights that old buildings naturally produce various phenomena that can mimic paranormal activity. Settling structures, air pressure changes, electrical interference, and even infrasound, frequencies below human hearing, can induce feelings of unease. Therefore, when instruments react, are they truly detecting something supernatural, or are they misinterpreting natural occurrences through a pre-existing paranormal framework? This is not to question sincerity, but to acknowledge the pervasive influence of confirmation bias, a psychological phenomenon affecting all observers regardless of their beliefs. The responses of churches to paranormal investigation requests are varied and insightful. Many religious institutions respectfully decline, viewing such activities as inappropriate or theologically problematic, potentially disrespecting the sacred nature of their space. Some churches permit investigations under strict conditions, often framing them as historical documentation rather than ghost hunting, and frequently requiring clergy presence to maintain appropriate boundaries. Clergy often emphasize caution, drawing upon theological teachings that prioritize peace over fear. Christian theology, for instance, generally discourages seeking contact with spirits, often citing passages that warn against such practices. The focus remains on faith, divine protection, and spiritual growth. From a traditional theological perspective, paranormal investigations in churches can be seen as spiritually questionable. Yet, when churches do grant access, what motivates this decision? Is it genuine historical curiosity, a desire to debunk claims, or perhaps a recognition of broader cultural fascination with the paranormal? Churches existing within a cultural context are not immune to societal trends. Psychology offers profound insights into how belief and expectation shape paranormal experiences. Research consistently demonstrates that what one expects to perceive significantly influences actual perception. In a dimly lit, quiet sanctuary, especially if one anticipates paranormal activity, psychological factors come into play. Minor sounds become amplified, silence heightens vigilance, and the pervasive religious symbolism intensifies the emotional atmosphere, priming individuals to interpret experiences through a spiritual lens. Investigators often enter these spaces with pre-existing knowledge of local legends or previous claims, fostering a powerful expectation. This doesn't imply dishonesty, but highlights the human brain's remarkable ability for pattern recognition, sometimes leading to misinterpretations. We might perceive faces in ambiguous visual stimuli or meaningful sounds in static. This raises a critical academic question. To what extent does expectation shape a paranormal experience, potentially overshadowing any genuine anomaly? When a presence is felt or a whisper heard, how much is truly anomalous and how much is the brain filling in gaps based on ingrained expectations? The media, particularly television, has profoundly shaped the culture of paranormal investigation, often in ways that are overlooked. Shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures have normalized and popularized investigating religious sites. These programs employ specific production techniques, editing, dramatic music, and sound design, to transform mundane moments into suspenseful narratives. Every creak becomes ominous, every shadow potentially supernatural. It is crucial to recognize that entertainment is distinct from rigorous investigation. These shows prioritize compelling television, ratings, and drama. While not necessarily fabricated, their primary goal is not objective truth-seeking. This leads us to question, are media-driven church investigations genuinely pursuing truth, or are they crafting entertaining narratives that capitalize on our cultural fascination with the unexplained? When individuals inspired by these shows conduct their own investigations, are they adhering to valid investigative methodologies, or are they merely replicating theatrical performances? Ultimately, we must return to the theological and intrinsic purpose of churches. Christian teachings consistently emphasize peace over fear and trust over anxiety regarding the supernatural. As stated in 1 John, perfect love drives out fear, underscoring the relationship between faith and fear. Many clergy express concern that a paranormal framing distracts from faith's true purpose: reflection, healing, community, and spiritual growth. When churches become known primarily as haunted locations, their identity shifts from places of worship to potential paranormal tourist destinations. This transformation raises significant questions about respect and responsibility. Where do legitimate historical curiosity and interest in the unexplained cross the line into disrespect for the sacred nature of these spaces? What is our collective responsibility to preserve churches as sanctuaries of peace and devotion, rather than venues for fear and thrill-seeking? Are paranormal investigations in U.S. churches uncovering genuine supernatural phenomena, or are they primarily reflecting how humans process mystery, history, and the profound power of sacred spaces? Do these venerable structures amplify our imagination, or do they invite deeper self-awareness about our fears, mortality, and longing for connection beyond the mundane? When belief, history, and fear intersect in these inquiries, what responsibility should take precedence? The pursuit of evidence or respect for the space's sacred purpose? Churches were built to elevate the human spirit toward the transcendent, not to instill fear or anxiety about the supernatural. Whether experiences are genuinely paranormal or primarily psychological, these investigations remind us of a vital truth. Mystery does not always equate to danger, and silence does not always signify emptiness. Sometimes sacred spaces are simply sacred, and that in itself is profound. This has been the Scholar's Ledger, where history, faith, and power are revealed. If this academic exploration has prompted new thoughts or perspectives on paranormal investigations in churches, we respectfully invite you to subscribe to our channel. Please share your insights and engage in a thoughtful discussion in the comments below. Your contributions enrich our collective understanding.